She discovered that using a paid telephone in this modern age had grown strangely difficult, even if you had your calling card number memorized. The first phone she tried worked only one way. She could hear the directory assistance operator, but the directory assistance operator couldn't hear her, and broke such connection as there was. The other phone was tilted askew on the cinder block wall, not encouraging, but it worked. There was a steady annoying underwhine, but at least she and the operator could communicate. Only Tess had no pen or pencil. There were several writing implements in her purse, but of course her purse was gone. "Can't you just connect me?" she asked the operator. "No, ma'am, you have to dial it yourself in order to utilize your credit card." The operator spoke in the voice of someone explaining the obvious to a stupid child. This didn't make Tess angry, she felt like a stupid child. Then she saw how dirty the cinder block wall was. She told the operator to give her the number, and when it came, she wrote it in the dust with her finger. Before she could start dialing, a truck pulled into the parking lot. Her heart launched itself into her throat with dizzying, acrobatic ease, and when two laughing boys in high school jackets got out and whipped into the store, she was glad it was up there. It blocked the scream that surely would have come out otherwise. She felt the world trying to go away and leaned her head against the wall for a moment, gasping for breath. She closed her eyes. She saw the giant towering over her, hands in the pockets of his biballs, and opened her eyes again. She dialed the number written in dust on the wall. She braced herself for an answering machine, or for a bored dispatcher telling her that they had no cars. Of course they didn't. It was Friday night. Were you born stupid, lady, or did you just grow that way? But the phone was answered on the second ring by a businesslike woman who identified herself as Andrea. She listened to Tess, and said they would send a car right out. Her driver would be Manuel. Yes, she knew exactly where Tess was calling from, because they ran cars out to the Stagger Inn all the time. Okay, but I'm not there, Tess said. I'm at the intersection about half a mile down from TH. Yes, ma'am, I have that, Andrea said. The gas dash. Sometimes we go there, too. People often walk down and call if they've had a little too much to drink. It'll probably be 45 minutes, maybe even an hour. That's fine, Tess said. The tears were falling again. Tears of gratitude this time, although she told herself not to relax, because in stories like this the heroine's hopes so often turned out to be false. That's absolutely fine. I'll be around the corner by the pay telephones. And I'll be watching. Now she'll ask me if I had a little too much to drink. Because I probably sound that way. But Andrea only wanted to know if she would be paying with cash or credit. American Express. I should be in your computer. Yes, ma'am, you are. Thank you for calling Royal Limousine, where every customer is treated like royalty. Andrea clicked off before Tess could say she was very welcome. She started to hang up the phone, and then a man, it's him, ran around the corner of the store and right at her. This time there was no chance of screaming. She was paralyzed with terror. It was one of the teenage boys. He went past without looking at her and hooked a left into the men's. The door slammed. A moment later she heard the enthusiastic, horse-like sound of a young man voiding an awesomely healthy bladder. Tess went down the side of the building and around back. There she stood beside a reeking dumpster. No, she thought. I'm not standing, I'm lurking, waiting for the young man to finish and be gone. When he was, she walked back to the pay phones to watch the road. In spite of all the places where she hurt, her belly was rumbling with hunger. She had missed her dinner, had been too busy being raped and almost killed to eat. She would have been glad to have any of the snacks they sold in places like this, even some of those little nasty peanut butter crackers, so weirdly yellow, would have been a treat, but she had no money. Even if she had, she wouldn't have gone in there. She knew what kind of lights they had in roadside convenience stores like Gas Dash, those bright and heartless fluorescents that made even healthy people look like they were suffering from pancreatic cancer. The clerk behind the counter would look at her bruised cheeks and forehead, her broken nose and her swollen lips, and he or she might not say anything, but Tess would see the widening of the eyes. And maybe a quickly suppressed twitch of the lips. Because, face it, people could think a beat-up woman was funny. Especially on a Friday night. Who tuned up on you, lady, and what did you do to deserve it? Wouldn't you come across after some guy spent his overtime on you? That reminded her of an old joke she'd heard somewhere. Why are there 300,000 battered women each year in America? Because they won't. Fucking. Listen.